What's up, Darkness Live Tribe? Scoot over. Actually, no, it's me that needs to scoot over. There.
Well, get with the program, honey. Get with the program. Oh, I should probably turn off the volume.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what's up with this. I can't get the lid off of it.
I don't know.
And it won't tighten back down either, so it's like stripped or something.
Christina's watching. Hi, love. Hello.
What's up, everyone?
Happy
I hope
Monday.
everyone's having a good Monday.
We survived Monday. We survived it.
Well, it's not over yet, but...
Well, that's true. God, Lord, have mercy.
There it goes.
I'm excited to try it. I've never tried it before. Just the one. Oh, fuck.
Oh, my word.
I have to breathe in air really quickly because it's burning my mouth. Oh, Lord.
What the hell did I
You know,
do?
when I was younger, I used to think that alcohol would burn and when I was younger, I used to get peroxide and alcohol confused. I used to think that the word peroxide sounds scary, you know? So I used to think that was the one that would hurt to clean a cut or something. Yeah, no, I learned the hard way on that one. It's not. Alcohol burns like a motherfucker. It does. No, Christina, I actually had a really good Monday. And I made really good dinner. And the kids liked it. And Jeremiah liked it. And what I ate of it was good. And yeah, it was good.
It was
good.
very good, but I was just laughing at how you said that what you ate of it was good.
Yeah, well,
like you were scared you were using us as guinea pigs.
I'd never made it before. I made chicken enchiladas. One of the girls requested chicken enchiladas, and so that's what they had for dinner. So.
Wow, is the video really that bad out there in internet land?
Kenna's watching. Kenna will be here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about that. Just saying. Kids are excited too. Oh my God. The burn means it's working.
Burn means it's working. The burn, it means it's working.
That's true. So what are we talking about tonight?
Huh?
What are we talking about tonight?
Well, we've got a few things. I figured we could, start off with...
Hey, Max, our Darkness Tavern buddy. Our Darkness Tavern compadre is on.
Is
hey,
Max watching? What's up, Max?
He is watching.
What's up, Max?
He is.
I'm trying to just keep it going for a little bit. I'm trying to get
the pressure. I don't know if I can take the pressure.
Oh dear! Oh my God!
Pressure. Under pressure. You know, I wonder who actually wrote that? If it was Queen or David Bowie, or if they collaborated, or how that works when artists make songs together.
Max, it's all good, man. We all got lives, so don't even worry about it.
Life is. Oh my God! I literally looked down and thought it said licking. I was like, oh my God, Max.
So, well, I mean, I'm not going to ask you what's going on the show, but if you need to, give me a call after the show, man.
Yes.
So, but we had a good weekend.
Oh, we had a fabulous weekend.
Went to the farm and had a good time. Yep. Got to...
Sophie caught her first fish.
Yes, she did. And a nice size one, too.
She kind of reacted kind of funny. Like, she was like, don't want to touch it, scared of it. It's moving. No, I said we let the fish go. Cried when we let it go. Yeah, I think, did everybody catch a fish?
Yes.
That went fishing?
Everyone did. Madeline caught the lunker for the weekend.
Oh, yep.
She caught the biggest one. She caught about an 18-incher.
Was that Spillway Pete?
No. Spillway Pete's over 2 foot.
Tell them
Spillway Pete's almost like 27 inches.
Tell them the legend of Spillway Pete.
The legend of Spillway Pete. So at the farm we have this little spillway pond that is it's a lot of fun to fish in because you catch a lot of fish, all sizes, from little bitty
Perch.
baby bass to, good sized perch and bluegill, and all the way up to big ass lunker, largemouth bass. And, Spillway Pete.
So we named him.
Yeah. So I had been up there, and it was only like the second time we'd ever fished at the pond. All the time before that we'd fished over there, we'd fished up at the lake. But this time in particular, we were fishing at the pond, and I cannot find what I'm looking for here. All the other time over there, we had fished at the pond or at the lake, and so we set up this one time. I was running the weed eater and just trimming up so that we could actually get to the pond. And I thought, well, hell, I've got my fishing pole with me. I'll throw a line out while I'm here. And
of course, nobody else was there.
Yeah, I've got pictures though.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
But I don't know. I fished a little. I don't know, probably 20 minutes, and pulled in this lunker. Holy shit! And on a little ultralight pole, and I don't know. I have no idea how long it took me to land that dude, but when I finally landed him, he was like 27 inches, something like that.
That's a big
and
fish.
He was big old fat sow, man. He was but I turned him back because I got a rule about lunkers. We turn lunkers back because they're the ones that keep the pond healthy.
A lunker would be, what does that mean?
A big fish,
Big fish. Okay.
a massively big fish.
Okay.
So I don't know what the actual definition of a lunker is, but that's what it's talking about, a big ass fish. So I didn't have a scale with me, so I have no idea how much he weighed, but I got pictures of him laying next to my fishing pole for reference, and when I measured it out later, he was like 27 inches, give or take. So it was really cool. Anyway, that's the origin story of Spillway Pete.
So yeah, we nicknamed him. We had to come up with a name. Actually, I decided we needed to come up with a name because of the movie Big Fish. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Okay, well, anyways, there was this giant fish, and none of this shit's paranormal talking about at the moment. I can't even talk right. Talking about at the moment. So let's talk about something paranormal related. Let's talk about... What do you want to talk about? Spirituality.
Oh, well, I was going to talk, I was going to shout out to Carl first. We got to shout out to
that
Carl.
At the beginning and later.
Good. Today, if anyone watched the show 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
we had our good friends Carl, Captain Carl, and his lovely wife Cindy, who we call
Chaos Control.
It's Captain Chaos and Chaos Control is that's the name of their little team. And anyway, today is Carl's birthday.
Happy birthday, Carl.
Happy birthday to you. I'm not going to sing the whole thing. I don't want to torture everyone like that, but
Keep your day job.
Yes, happy birthday, Carl.
Good thing the dead can't hear. Wow, that was a really bad joke.
But we are, yes, very happy for Carl and honored to call him friend.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, can't wait till the next time we get together. I'll have a birthday present ready for him by then that I hope he likes. So
hopefully sooner than later.
Yep. So anyway, yes, happy birthday, Carl. Okay.
Anything else you want to plug?
No.
Real quick before we...
No. not right offhand.
I have one more thing to say.
Okay.
Tomorrow would have been my grandparents' anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible human being. I don't know how many years it would have been. But they did make it. I don't know if Ken is still watching or not. I think they made it like 65 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he passed away. So in 2016 would have been 65 years that they would have been married. Or they were married for 65 years. And then, yeah, then he passed away shortly after that. And, yeah. So today would be, 71 if they were still alive? Maybe. I don't know. But I think it's really cool because I have a Star Wars tattoo on my wrist. And their anniversary is May the 4th. I think that is so cool. And it's funny because I never learned of that until after they both were gone. When their anniversary was. You remember that?
Yeah.
You were there when I had that moment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That I learned their wedding anniversary was May the 4th. I thought it was cool. Just saying. What is that noise?
What noise?
I don't know. It sounds like a vacuum or something. I don't know.
The air conditioner?
Hi, Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Happy Monday. It's May. And Chloe's almost out of school along with all the other kids. Chloe's Jessica's daughter.
Oh, yes. Hey, Chloe.
Yes.
All right. So, I want to hear what you think.
Uh-oh. Go
What?
ahead. Keep going. You want to hear what I think? Normally, this is the other way around. Normally, it's, normally it's me asking you what you think about stuff. So this should be good.
I'm sorry, folks. We're getting off to a slow start here. But, yeah, we're getting into some content now. I want to hear your thoughts and what you think on the topic of spirituality.
Can you elaborate on what you want to know?
Well, just I want to know what you think about spirituality in the just human spirituality. What are your thoughts on it as far as like what is it? What should it be? What?
Well, I will say this.
Anything that comes to mind there.
So the first thing that comes to mind is I feel like more times than not, somebody who claims to be a spiritual person is going to be a lot more passionate about following their spiritual path than somebody who claims to be religious, I feel like.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a very spiritual person. I feel like you are a very spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the person themselves is spiritual. What they follow is their religion. Or, I don't know. I should not have done what I did a few minutes ago because I can't keep focused. You should have warned me.
I did. I tried.
I'll give you credit. My stubborn ass didn't listen. I feel like...
Do I need to put these away?
Yeah. I feel like spirituality is very important. I think that a lot of times when we're thinking about our own mortality, people like to cling on to something, whether it be religion or spirituality, because nobody wants to think that... Well, some people do. Some people think that after you pass away, that's it. There's no more. You're here, and before you were here, you were nothing, and then you came to be, and then you're nothing after that. I don't agree with that. I think that I believe personally that our soul is separate from our body, and it continues on to the next whatever that might be, whenever that might be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you're lucky, you do get little tidbits of past lives and things. I can't help but question, people who can tap into, the Akashic record or past life readings and stuff and such. How do they? I don't know. I there's just too much to me to not believe that you have a soul, like your spirit. I don't know. We're just a meat. Wait, what is that? We're a meat covered skeleton flying on a rock at like, I don't know how fast, but I can't help but think, like when this meat covered skeleton is
a skeleton
done,
made of stardust, covered in meat, flying on a rock at 25,000 miles an hour.
Yes. I can't help but think that, there's a reason, there's a bigger purpose. It's not all for nothing. And yeah, your body goes back to the earth, right? But your soul doesn't. Your soul, I personally believe, we have multiple lifetimes and we come back. And I believe that, I don't know if I'm even answering your question.
Yeah, I'm just getting thoughts expressed because I have a specific topic that I want to get to, but we need to get other thoughts out on the table before I get to that.
Okay, so John said negative. I am a meat popsicle. So what I want to know, okay, so this is dealing with Christianity, okay? What I want to know is, okay, hold on, let me back it up. There's a movie that I love so much, and in the movie there's a quote, and the quote says, and it really got me to thinking, okay? The gal was talking about how, why would you want to change an animal's DNA? Why would you want to give it sight if it was born without sight? Why are you trying to play God? And then the scientist said, well, who even proved God existed in the first place? And that got me to thinking, there is something to that. I think that people want to believe in God for, security, for believing in something. Because which is worse, not believing in anything or believing in something, whether it's right or wrong. Who's to say something is right or wrong? But what I want to know is, when it comes to, the New Testament and stuff like that, how do I even ask this question? So, who decided that Jesus was God in the flesh in the first place? Jesus himself, a man? That's what has been plaguing me all day. It got in my brain, and I've been thinking about it all day. And furthermore, in the Bible, doesn't it say, put no other gods before me? Right? And God is a jealous God, according to the Bible, right?
Okay.
Is that true?
Yes.
In the Bible? Okay, so the fact that in the Bible God is saying, put no other gods before me, does that mean that God is acknowledging there are other gods?
Honestly, I don't
That's
know.
A good question.
Yeah, I don't know what the history is there. But I mean, of course, naturally with my history, that particular history has not been, one that I have studied a lot.
But you gotta, I bring up a good point because...
but it's that same question could be asked hundreds of times over for basically every faith there is, every organized or even non-organized faith there is. The all the way from the old Proto-Norse gods that predate the, the Roman and Greek pantheons,
Yeah.
to the more modern major world religions, even like Islam. Islam, didn't come around till like 640 AD or something like that, and the Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church, didn't come around until in the last 150, 200 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Wiccans, that is less than a century old.
Mm-hmm.
That came around like in the 1940s to 1960s. And these are major. Well, Wiccan's not really a major world religion, but it still has
Enough following.
It has a huge following, and so you have to ask the question, who was it that decided on these things? And now on some of them, like the Islam, you have the Prophet Muhammad that basically started Islam, and Joseph Smith for the Mormon Church, and is it Gerald Gardner, I think, that pioneered Wicca and in the 1940s to 60s, and then there was, I mean, it's all stuff that you have to kind of go back to that aspect of it. This is a it's that going back to that aspect of it. You have to, they all had a, what am I trying to say? Holy
Blah, blah,
crap.
blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
They all have a starting point somewhere.
Hey, John said, God says, put no other gods, in parentheses, idols, before me. It is an acknowledgement of false idols and heretics. That is why it is stated in the Old Testament as God was giving the divine law as Christianity branched from Judaism.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But seriously, I want to know where it was ever decided that a human was God in the flesh. Or talk about, other, I'm really lacking words right now. Blah, 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 blah. I can't even think straight. Anyways, okay, enough on that. But, I want to know, who...
I don't know.
Or that's what the word faith comes in, right? You have faith that that's true.
Well, I mean, and I personally think that, as much flack as I'll catch on this from some of my pagan friends, I think that the Christian Bible has the best definition of the word faith.
Which is?
In it, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Whoa. I'm impressed that you could recite that.
So, I think that sums up the word faith for better than anything, in any other definition that I've ever heard. And so, but it's all, to me, it's all about finding what.
So I find it interesting that Robin Williams, there was one of his stand-ups, it was great, but there was a stand-up that Robin Williams did, and he talked about how convenient is it that the Ten Commandments go along with, the laws, do not kill, do not steal, do not, do your neighbor's wife or whatever. Oh, sorry, I just like totally blasted out your
headphones are coming off.
your eardrums. But I mean, seriously, like Robin Williams was like, how convenient is it that not only is it a sin, it's against the law.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, Randy.
Christianity is literal blip in human civilization, 2,000 years old and 50,000 years of intelligent human life. The Abrahamic faiths are literal recent cult of mankind, and I mean, yeah, it's yeah, I
and I'm not knocking anybody who follows that path. I mean, I sincerely believe that whatever you believe it wholeheartedly, right, and practice it. Don't be one of the convenient. There's like some saying for you can go out and sin every day and then just go ask for, confession or whatever, and then it's all the sins have been washed away.
Better to ask forgiveness rather than permission.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, but no, like I'll never, knock anybody. Because how many times have you been with a patient and they wanted you to pray with them and you just do it it's not going to hurt anything,
Well, it helps them.
Well, yeah, or like, sitting in morning meeting or whatever when they're talking about prayer and praise, like, I'm all for prayer. Like, I will never get mad at somebody for, wanting to pray with you or say a prayer for you. Like, call it prayer, call it energy, call it intention.
That's the equivalent of, someone in our group saying they'll give a libation for us, or they'll, send us good vibes, or,
There's nothing
that
negative.
Type of thing.
There's nothing negative.
I think it's same exact thing. It really is.
I think it's kind of ridiculous if somebody gets offended when somebody wants to pray for you if you don't pray, or if you know what I'm saying. I think it's ridiculous.
But to each their own on all that. I'm not. My whole thing is what I kind of wanted to.
Yeah, I feel like I have no clue where you were wanting to go with this, and I feel like we got way...
No, we didn't. We actually came pretty much right around to the part of the point that I wanted to get into, is spirituality is such a subjective thing. It's completely in the eyes of the person that's experiencing it. No one else has those experiences. No one else has those thoughts. No one else has whatever it is going on in that person in exactly the same way.
Right.
So, what makes it real?
That's a really, really good question.
If there's if there's no way to really objectively measure it, what makes it real?
The hope for what's next. Well, that's really not answering your question. So, like, if I was Christian and
or better yet, maybe the question I should be asking is, if there's not really if there's no way to objectively measure or see the fruit of it, why bother?
Because what's wrong with believing in something?
Now, and I'm not harping on anything. I'm just posing questions because.
Well, and that's not a bad thing to do. I'm just saying, where's the hurt in it? Like one of our kiddos. What? Okay. One of our kiddos was telling me that another parent was arguing with them about, trying to be like, why do you believe in that? That's dumb, blah, blah, blah. And the kiddo spoke up and said, maybe I just need to believe in something. Well, the other parent kind of had a moment of, oh, okay. Like, oh, wait. Okay, well, I really don't have anything to say to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, hi, Tiffany. I don't think there's anything in the world wrong with, if you choose to believe or if you choose to not believe, whatever it is you believe in. Look at little kids. They believe Santa's real. Do you feel as a parent that you're lying to them because you're making up this elaborate story about Santa Claus, and even though we all know Santa Claus was Odin and the 8 reindeer was Sleipnir, the horse with 8 legs, right? That's the lore where it came from.
Yeah.
We all know.
So if you guys didn't know that, Santa Claus, the 8 reindeer was
Viking,
Sleipnir,
right?
the horse with 8 legs. Santa Claus was Odin. That's the lore where it came from.
And,
So if you guys didn't know that,
Sleipnir, which was
Santa
Odin's
Claus,
horse,
the 8 reindeer
had
was
8 legs,
Sleipnir, the horse with 8 legs.
then the story
Santa Claus was
transformed
Odin.
Santa Claus,
Where it came from.
and
8 tiny reindeer. So if you guys didn't know that,
Sleipnir, which was
Santa Claus,
Odin's
horse,
there,
8 reindeer
had
was
8 legs,
Sleipnir, the horse
and
with 8
So-
legs.
then the story
Santa Claus was
transformed
Odin.
Santa
Where it came from.
and
I don't know what
who we were just
Sleipnir,
talking
which was
about.
Odin's horse.
There.
8 reindeer was
I
Sleipnir,
don't know.
and I'm sorry to hear that.
Story transformed
I just wanted to,
I don't know
Myra
where.
died today. We were sorry.
No, I don't know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The reason, the reason I wanted to bring all this up is because I have very strong thoughts on the issue. Very strong. The reason I wanted to
strong
bring
thoughts
all
on a
this
lot of
up
stuff,
is
which is
because
not a bad thing.
I have very strong thoughts on the issue. Because
So do you want me to tell you? I have an answer for your question.
okay.
So you're talking about, you wanted. Sorry, I can't remember. So do you want me to tell you? I have an answer for your question.
Okay.
So you're talking about, you wanted, measure something. How do you want me to tell you? What did you say again?
If it can't be objectively measured or quantified, why bother?
Because
Or how do you know it's real?
So me personally.
We'll start with the why bother part. Measured or quantified.
Well, I don't want to start with that part. So because
Or how do you know it's real?
So me personally.
We'll start with the why
So
bother part. Measured or quantified.
I personally have had too many experiences.
So because
Or how do you know it's
I have no
real?
idea why
So
I'm
seeing them
personally getting.
so
I'll use the word downloaded
I
information
personally
about another person that I'm not even in the same room with, knowing stuff that I can't explain to you. Information about
how can you explain to me that our 3-year-old
knowing stuff that I can't explain to you. Information about
how can you explain to me that our 3-year-old
knowing stuff that I
The
can't
Santa
point,
suit
Randy.
and Santa suit and the candy canes, red and white candy
and the
canes.
Christmas tree
The Santa suit and Santa suit and the candy
with the
canes.
5-pointed star at
Red
the
and white
top,
candy
and the
canes.
Christmas tree.
The Santa suit and Santa
Food
suit and the candy canes.
Candles were put on the tree and brought inside to invite the spirits in to warm up
Yep.
and eat food, and right?
Yep.
Candles were put on the tree.
Just saying. Kind of in a nutshell, but yep.
So I personally, I believe what I believe.
Kind of in a nutshell, but yep.
So I personally,
things I
can't. I believe, like how do I know certain things about people?
Kind of in a
that don't
nutshell,
tell
but
me?
yep.
So where does that come from?
Okay.
Things like how do I know exactly what somebody looks like that I've never even seen a picture of, and I can describe them? How do I get names about people that are not currently with us that I never met before? How do I know what they look like? Like all of these things that I personally have experienced. How do I know? I don't have an answer for that currently, other than I've experienced them. How do I know what they look like? Like I can't measure it, I can't prove it to you, but I know what I've got. I know what I've experienced. And that I've experienced them something to me. Like I can't measure it. I can't prove it
That
to
brings
you,
up.
but I know what
Okay,
I'm-
so
I know what I'm
there's the.
and that I've experienced.
Well,
Why bother?
that's kind of both the why bother and how do you know, all in wrapped up into one.
Well, that's
you know,
kind
of
my
why
thoughts on
bother
it,
and how do you know,
what
all in.
I want to kind of differentiate what you were talking about, because that's what you were talking about. That's a I want to
Randy,
differentiate what you were talking about.
Oh, happy anniversary, guys! That's
Anniversary.
right. I saw that on Facebook.
20 years, right? Was it 20? I think it was 20. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I just
guys.
anniversary.
That's right. I saw that on
I 20 years, right? You for 20. It was 20. Happy anniversary. Anyways, I just anniversary.
So-
I 20.
I kind of want to differentiate from that, you know, what you were talking about from what I'm talking about a little bit, because it's not exactly the same thing. That, you know, I mean, it's very, very related. Don't get me wrong. But you know, kind of what you were talking about was very, very a psychic gift type thing that's tied into your spirituality. Whereas what I'm talking about and questioning about is the actual spirituality. You know, how you relate to is the actual spirituality. You know, how you relate, because there's so many words that could be used. I'm just going to call it the energies of the universe. What do you call it? The gods, or God, or angels, or what do you call it? Whatever. The gods, or you know, or angels, or in my mind, spirituality is whatever. The process, you know, of spirituality is, in my mind, spirituality is how you relate, you know, of spirituality is, in my mind, spirituality to those things and how they are manifested in your life. Those things and
So, like,
how they are.
so like some people view,
manifested
let's
in
just
your
use the
life.
Norse
Those
gods for an
things
example.
and
So like some people view the Norse gods
they
as
are.
actual, like some people view
manifested
separate
in
individual
your
gods,
life.
right? Then you have some people who view the Norse gods, the gods, as archetypes of, right? Help me out with this. Archetypes of the individual characteristics of the energy of the universe.
If you wanna,
what you're talking about?
if you're looking for
You worded it way
a
better than I did.
metaphor on that, yes, you are talking about the archetype. If you're looking archetypes, are just representations of different angles or facets, and that's actually a more clear metaphor if you want to imagine the surface of a diamond. A more clear, you know, and how it's all one stone, the surface of a diamond, but it has a lot of shiny surfaces to it. You know, and how it's all one stone. Each one of those, but it has a lot in this shiny surfaces diamond of, you know, polytheistic spirituality. But it has a lot in this shiny surfaces diamond of, you know, of the, you know, from a universalist mindset anyway. Each of the facets would represent the, you know, one God and how it relates to how that God relates to would represent.
So it's separate, but it's a
whole.
whole.
Right.
It's a separate part of the whole.
Right.
What is that saying? It's so it's separate, but it's something about parts.
Right. You have a bunch
bigger,
of parts,
no.
but the sum of the parts is greater
that
than
saying?
the whole.
Yes. So it's separate,
Or
but it's something about
the whole
parts.
is greater than some
Bigger,
parts.
no.
The sum of the parts. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Yes. Yes.
No. But my this is where I think pretty much anyone who knows us this is where I think pretty much anyone who knows us agree with this. This is where I think pretty much anyone who knows us. I think, and this isn't. I'm not putting this out there to lay judgment on anyone. I'm really not. I see a lot of. I'm not putting this out there to lay Facebook spirituality. I'm really not. And it gets the better of me sometimes. It kind of pisses me off sometimes because it gets the better. Everything is always kind of pisses me off sometimes because, you know, happy thoughts and love and light and, you know, cutting people off and, you know, getting rid of toxicity and you know, and none of that is a bad thing. It's really not. I'm not going to try to say that it is. And, you know, and none of that. The part that bothers me about it is that, I'm not going to try to say it's not that easy. You know, and none of that. Part that bothers me about it is you have these memes. It's not that easy. You know, and none of that. Part that are trying to express have these memes principle that really needs an entire book or more. Have these memes written on it that really needs an entire with a picture and a half dozen words. written on it, you know, and it's just, it's not that easy, you know, for instance, the whole thing about, you know, and it is, you know, just cutting people out of your life, you know, I don't agree, you know, just so much of that I see there, you know, because I don't agree, you know, just so much of that I see there, you know, just simply cutting toxic people out of your life at the drop of a hat. I mean, that is awfully, that's to me is becoming awfully or getting awfully close to declaring people disposable. To me, and I'm sorry, people are not disposable. Or getting awfully close to declaring they're not. To me, and I will say this: people are not disposable. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ever cut someone out. I will say this: people are not disposable. I'm not saying that you should, but not just at the first time that they ever piss you off. That's not the time to necessarily to tuck tail and run you off, because I mean, and this is again just my take. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but this is my take on it. I come from a time and a place where people were not disposable. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but this is my take on it. I come from a time and a place where people were not disposable. And coming out of that into this disposable culture that we live in now, and coming out of that is really a huge culture shock for me. That we live in now, it just is. Coming out of that into really a huge culture. Now, you know, there's plenty of times when we live in now, I see people. Now, you know, I can get pissed off and go several weeks without talking to someone. People. But then eventually it's time to go several weeks without talking to someone, you know, put the petty bullshit aside and eventually it's time to pick it back up and rebuild something. Because the thing about it is, if you pick it back up and rebuild something, I'll put it out like this: if you are going to talk about love and light and being the light for the world, put it out like this: if you are going to, and then turn around and almost in the same breath talk about cutting toxic people out of your life when they do you wrong or piss you off, those are contradictory statements.
But what if you don't say that you're all love and light?
Well, that's something that we can talk about cutting in just a second. Right now, that's what I'm talking about.
Keep talking.
How are you supposed to be the light for someone's life if you cut them off the first time they fuck up? Well, that's something that now, everyone has to have boundaries. Everyone should have boundaries. Everyone should have lines in the sand that they do not allow people to cross if you cut them off the first time they fuck up.
But then it's on your responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has to have boundaries. Everyone should have boundaries.
Kind of like before the podcast, I drew a line in the sand.
Yes, do not allow people to cross.
Absolutely drew a line in the sand.
Yes.
And it's on your responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has to have boundaries. Everyone should have boundaries.
Kind of like before the podcast, I drew a line in the sand. I think everybody agrees.
Yes, do not allow people to cross.
Absolutely.
We're not going to
drew a
get
line
into
in the
that.
sand. Okay.
Now I'm drawing that line in the sand. We're not getting onto that and into that on the show.
Kind of like before the podcast. Line in the sand.
So, hang on, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Now I'm drawing that line in the sand.
Take a drink.
We're not getting onto that and into that on the show. So everyone should have boundaries. Everyone should be able to have a line in the sand. Hang on, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Everyone should be able to have a line in the sand that they can draw with people in their lives. And say, everyone should have boundaries. Everyone should be able to have a line in the sand. If you want me to stick around, don't cross. Everyone should be able to have a line in the sand that they can draw. And then, if that boundary does get crossed, say how you react to it. That lies on the person that makes the boundary. If you want me to stick around, don't cross. Everyone should be able to have a line in the sand. And then, if that boundary does get crossed, say getting how you far away from my topic. That lies on the person. But just say at the very first sign that someone is just going to piss you off, and to cut them out. I mean, that to me, but just say is the very first sign dangerous someone close to declaring people disposable. And I don't, that to me, but just
So you're saying that no matter how toxic something might be, they still have good qualities.
What I'm saying is, how can we expect them to get any better if we don't provide them with an
No matter
example
how toxic something
of
might
how
be, they still
to
have
get better? Now, what I'm saying is, how, and this is why you can't just express this shit in a meme with a picture and a half dozen words.
No matter how toxic something might be,
How?
they still have
Because there are so many facets, like we talked about a while ago.
This
is why you can't. So many facets to how to handle all this. We couldn't cover it all in a whole show. Because there are so let alone many facets, like we talked about a while ago. This is why you probably a half dozen shows to how to handle cover the whole thing. We couldn't. But the point is in a whole show. Because there are so let alone there are different roles in relationships. How to handle cover the whole thing. But the point is in a whole show, let alone there are different roles in relationships. How to handle cover the whole thing.
That's a good question, Lena.
The point is in a whole show, let alone there are
I don't know.
different roles. What is that noise? Holy shit!
That's a good question, Lena.
The point is in a whole show, let alone there are
I don't know.
different roles. What is that
better?
noise? Holy shit!
Is it gone now? That's a good question, Lena. I don't know.
What is
better?
that noise? Holy shit!
Is it gone now? That's a good.
Okay, that should be better. Holy crap. That was horrible.
Bless you.
I
people.
apologize for that, guys. I should have never taken my headphones off.
I should have never pounded on the table to make you take them off, right?
Yeah, I had a window open that had an extra player going in it. I had the player that I could see muted, but
Is
there
that
must
better,
have been
Lena? Is it better?
Yeah.
Good. It's much.
there must have been another player going somewhere in that window that I could or didn't see right offhand. I apologize for that, guys. That should be much better. Okay, sorry about that.
Back on track.
You just there's different roles for different relationships, and with different relationships come with different boundaries. If you're a mentor-mentoree, in a mentor-mentoree relationship, you're going to have different boundaries with that person than you will with a sibling or tribe-type relationship. And you're going to have different boundaries, of course, with that relationship than you are with a spousal relationship. Or a parent-child relationship. The boundaries are different. And so, it's not just as easy as saying, if this person is toxic, cut them out of your life. I don't think it should ever be that easy to just dispose of a person unless there's actual, like, physical danger, actual, abuse going on, anything like that. I would never encourage anyone to stay in a dangerous or abusive relationship ever. If that's the case, if you're in that type of relationship, get the fuck out while you're still alive. Mm-hmm. It is that simple as far as that goes. Abuse, whether it's mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, abuse is absolutely inexcusable. You can wish that person the best and get the fuck out and hope they can get the help they need somewhere else, outside of another abusive relationship. I would never try to tell anyone to stay in an abusive relationship. But if you have a relationship in your life where a person has toxic traits, if you are able to set boundaries and have that person respect those boundaries, and then by which they may be able to glean a little bit of light to improve their life, I think a person should do that if they can safely. I don't think, I just cannot get into the mindset of people being disposable. And now I want to circle it back around to the spirituality aspect, because I kind of got a little off topic with that. But that going back to the spirituality and how to know if it's real, of course someone from the outside looking in can't really ever make that determination on another person, should never even try. But I think it's all on us, ourselves personally, to always be kind of policing ourselves and saying, holding ourselves accountable. Am I allowing my spiritual path to make me a better person, or am I using my spiritual path as a crutch to stay stagnant?
It's a really good point. It's a really good point, actually.
And that would be where I'm talking about, the whole, the whole thing about cutting people off or having, growth. Are you avoiding situations because they're actually dangerous and toxic, or are you avoiding them because you don't want to be faced with the discomfort that might cause you to actually need to grow?
Boy, I'm glad you stuck around.
Of course I did.
No, I just, that was, the epitome of a twin flame relationship.
No.
What you just said.
No, I know, but it applies in a lot of other aspects of life, too.
I mean, because you have to stop and think, okay, am I getting, am I cutting this person out for my own self-preservation, or am I cutting this person out because I don't want to face my own issues, that this might be a lesson sent to me from the universe,
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Randy. He said different levels of accountability depending how close they are to you and how much effort you're willing to put in.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think,
I think that you are very aware.
And there's
it's super scary easy for me to cut somebody out.
Oh, I know.
Very easy, almost to a point that I used to question, is there something wrong with me? But then I learned this little word called empath. And then it all made sense why I developed the ability to cut somebody out so easy, because I wouldn't want to take on whatever it was, and it just was easier to, all right, peace, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also, therein lies why I've never been big on a lot of really close relationships.
Right.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
That would also make sense why I've always been, it's just always been scary easy for me to just not talk to somebody again. But there's also life experience where certain situations happen and it makes it easy for you to,
Right. Yeah. I like what Lena said. She said, be true to yourself. Self-awareness is key. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something to be said also for self-accountability.
God, Lena nailed it. The mirror challenge. Yeah, that's so true. So true.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on all that? You got anything to throw in there on any of that we just threw out there?
well, I mean, I think that, well, I
I'm just
really...
gonna step into the shop right quick. I'll be right back. I can hear you talk though.
Okay. So I believe that, I don't know. I just think you have to be very careful about why, if you are cutting somebody out, are you doing it for avoiding things that you're trying to work on yourself? Or are you doing it for the right reasons? Now, the right reasons is very subjective because only you know if it's the right reasons or not, you know?
But I think there's, there has to be a degree, like I said a while ago, there has to be a degree of, you have to be willing to be honest with yourself about that stuff.
And that's hard to
If you're not willing to be brutally honest with yourself about all that, it's not going to do any good. You will find, at least in my experience, you will find a reason to talk yourself out of anything and just, stay stagnant where you're at.
Yeah.
And I think a spiritual path should be all about, now there's always periods of rest that, you have to
When you've been working on it for too long, you just have to take a break.
slow down for a little bit and just take a breather. But it's important to not stay there. It's like I tell people, when I'm doing readings a lot, there's a principle called the crossroads principle, which, the crossroads gets a bad name because, there's certain connotations that are tied to it through various practices and whatnot. But it doesn't matter what practice we're talking about. It's not a bad thing. A crossroads is not a bad place. And more times than not, a crossroads is just simply a place where you have to make a decision. You're standing in the middle of the crossroads and you've got 4 choices or more of directions to take, and you just have to make a choice. And that's kind of a, we come across that in our spiritual paths a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to sit down and kind of look at all of your choices, and you have to spend time resting and recuperating from the journey up to that point, and you have to look and you have to study and you have to make the choice of which way you're going to go with certain things. And there may be the universe may be pushing you a certain way. Other people in your life may be pushing you another way. Your heart, your gut may be calling you a completely different way. And the thing about it is, more times than not, none of them are actually a wrong choice. You just have to commit to it.
Do you think that's a conscious choice to commit, or do you think it's just carving new ruts and over time, eventually it clicks?
I think it should always be a conscious choice.
Well, it always is a conscious choice, but the more times you do the same thing over and over, the more likely it is it's going to be an automatic thing.
It's yes, I see what you're saying. But I'm
like marriage. Marriage is
right.
A conscious choice every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Being in love with someone is a conscious choice every day.
It's not a,
I think, and I personally find that far more flattering than, the idea of, the idea that the universe just tied your ass to me.
Well,
And even though, we got some pretty damn big shoves, but I find it far more flattering to think that you choose to spend every day loving me.
I do.
Versus that the idea that the universe just sat you down and tied your ass to me.
I agree with that. I agree. And God knows I'm very spontaneous, so when I make up my mind, I don't change it. I mean,
Scratched my head. I hit my head in the shop in there.
Hey, don't do that.
I know, right?
Guess what? I wouldn't hit my head.
You're a vertically challenged individual, though.
Anyways, I'm sure that there's other vertically challenged individuals watching right now that can
And there's nothing in the
relate.
world wrong with that.
No, there's not. Anyways, yeah, to consciously make
A lot of times, like
every
right now,
single
I
day.
wish I was vertically challenged.
I can't help you with that. But yeah, you do. Every single day you make a conscious choice to, well, that's like that saying that you said
But-
like a long time ago. When you go out, how did it go? You make the
You don't like if you're married or in a committed relationship and you go out with some friends, and you are say sitting at a bar and a person approaches you and starts chatting you up, you can almost indefinitely there's one key to that person's intention, the person that is in the relationship. There's one key to that person's intention that will almost invariably determine the outcome of that situation. Did that person go out not intending to cheat? Or did that person go out with every intention to not cheat? Mm-hmm. Now, it sounds kind of like I said the same thing there, but the wording is very different. Just moving a couple of key words around makes all the difference in the world. Did that person go out, there's no harm, no foul, I'm not going to do anything tonight, nothing's going to happen? Or did that person go out with the intention in their mind, I'm just going out to have fun with my friends, I'll be damned and roll over dead before I fall into someone else's arms?
Oh, you're so sweet.
That is the difference in attitude. It's casual versus serious conscious decision. And it's that same way with the crossroads principle that we were talking about earlier. When you come to a crossroads in your spiritual life, or any other aspect of your life, but we're talking about spirituality tonight, but when you come to a crossroads in your spiritual life, whatever your spiritual path may be, it's time to mushy stuff. We got all kinds of mushy stuff floating around here.
Dynamite comes in small
It does.
packages.
It does.
It does.
So no matter what your spiritual path is, when you come to a crossroads in your spiritual path, there's a few things that you have to do. Number one, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Number two, you have to be brutally honest with those around you that matter. Because if you're not, no one is going to get anything good out of that situation, especially not you.
That's true.
So when you reach this crossroads and you're studying your different choices, which way do I go? Which direction am I going to take? Which choice am I going to make? You have to have that honesty, and you have to have that intention. And I think, of course, there's always a time in and you always have to be true to what's inside you. But depending on some of your other relationships, sometimes those other people need to be involved as well.
So where do you think authenticity comes into play?
Well, authenticity comes from that brutal honesty.
Because I like to think of myself, I'm a pretty authentic person.
Yeah.
When you meet me, that's what, for the most part.
Yeah, you absolutely are.
For the most
You're
part.
very, very authentic person.
Lena
but
is very authentic too.
That would not be a possibility if you weren't honest with yourself
It's hard to be honest with yourself.
It is. It can be. But
It's necessary.
you in order to make that choice that's going to be the best for you and the best for your life and the people important to you in your life, you have to have that honesty, and you have to have the intention of growing and not sitting stagnant. To me, that's a huge thing. Just not sitting stagnant.
Complacency is a very dangerous place
Yes, it is.
to stay.
And that's where the final crossroads principle comes into play, because while you do need to take the time to rest, recuperate, study, make decisions, you have to remember at the crossroads, you are still sitting in the middle of a road.
Yeah.
If you sit in the middle of a road too long, you're going to get your ass run over. So you need to come to a decision, commit to that decision, and move. If you don't, you're going to get your ass run over.
Yeah. Lena said, I try to be present with the reality of myself, good or bad. You know, the thing about good or bad is it's completely... Oh, I got to be careful how I word this. So, what's good or what's bad is completely subjective. Because what's bad to somebody could be good to somebody else.
Yeah. You know, there's some things that I think are pretty universal. You know.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things, you know, that are subjective.
I also think that anytime you're going through something that you deem bad or negative, I feel like there is always something good that can come from it.
So, I mean, yeah, let's.
I do. I really believe that.
I am very much of the mindset, and this is just me, and this is going to piss a lot of people off, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me.
Maybe.
And that's
maybe not.
That is you know, that's neither here nor there. This I believe this with all my heart. I think that whether you want to call it the gods, God, the angels, the universe, whatever it is, I think it is too big with too much going on, and I think that while it cares about us, it doesn't care enough about us to put that kind of energy of putting something good or bad into our lives.
That's how you respond.
It's all in your perspective and how you respond to it.
Yeah.
I'll give you two instances. Okay, so from my own personal experience, a year and almost 3 months ago, my dad died. Okay, and no, I'll be real. There's still a lot of shit going on there that I haven't dealt with, you know, and that's my own personal demon I'm having to slay. But the point that I'm getting to at that is that it is to me, it's actually a very selfish thing to think that the universe threw that into my family's lives is just a bad thing. It wasn't like that. My dad was old. My dad had a good life. My dad died a happy man. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't a bad thing. It sucked ass for the rest of us, but it was a good thing for him.
Yeah.
You know, when it boils right down to it, it was a good thing to him. Mm-hmm. You know, and our perspective and our reaction to things like that is what determines our outlook on them. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does.
So,
Yeah, I think
I
it was
cannot
bad.
for the life of me remember what the second example I was going to give, but I had a second example. But
Oh, I could think of a few for you.
faith does play a huge role in how we respond. Yeah, I'll agree with that. We are ultimately faced with multiple challenges, and it is up to us to choose how we respond or handle it. Yeah. You know, I'm a big believer in the idea that we create our own fate. I don't think that fate is written in stone. Faith. Remember, I'm talking fate, F-A-T-E, not faith. But fate is not written in stone, not in my beliefs. So I know you disagree with that to an extent,
do.
but that's just
I
you know
do.
that's just my thoughts and my beliefs on it. So
But that's
explain
okay.
a little bit about what you think about faith.
Fate?
Fate. Sorry.
Okay, so I think that everything I think that everything happens exactly how it's supposed to. Partly why I think that people call it deja vu, I call it a premonition. It's what's to come. You know, maybe there's multiple universes that you're existing in, and there's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But I do. I believe that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. I don't believe that it's random or it's... Yeah, I don't think I have control of my own end, so to speak, in between here and the end. I think it's already all laid out. There's too many times that it's like you don't understand why something is happening, but then later something else happens and you're like, oh, that's why that happened the way it did.
Maybe you should think, oh, that's why I responded the way I did.
Oh my God.
I'm just giving you shit.
Uh-huh. You're good at that.
I understand what you're saying. I really do. I just don't see things that way. I think, maybe at the very most the universe has a plan. I do not think we are bound to that plan. I just don't.
See, and I can understand what you're saying. I don't agree with that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, we would have opposite beliefs on that one.
Well, that's the classic twin flame thing going on there.
course.
But
Covers the gamut.
I believe there are multiple potential outcomes through various paths. We choose the path. Remember, those paths can often cross or twist back to join over other paths. Yeah, I like that.
It's already 8:16.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lena, we love you. I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Speaking of, I have to shout out something. So, happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there, because we won't be on again until after Mother's Day. So, Mother's Day is this coming Sunday for those who didn't realize it.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Yeah. Not everybody gets to be a mother, so it's pretty special if you do.
Yep.
Hey, there's Captain Carl.
There he is, Carl.
Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo.
We shouted you out earlier in the show, but we'll shout you out again, Carl. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It is an honor to know you and to have you in
Thank
our
you,
lives,
Lena.
be able to call you and Cindy our friends. So,
Absolutely.
and we can't wait to get together again.
I know, right? Hopefully sooner than later.
Yep.
Hopefully sooner than
Yep.
later. But yeah, yeah. I bet we'll see them sooner than later.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So this tonight pretty much had nothing to do with paranormal, except the spirituality.
It
was good. I enjoyed it.
That's something that has just kind of been irking on me, because I just, it's that sixth sense thing kicking in, where, like I said, not to pass judgment on anyone because of a belief or path or anything, because I don't do that. It just, there a lot of times you see something posted on social media, and social media is just a cesspool for shit like this.
That's why I like humor. That's why I like to post humorous things. Or
just to be
or motivational.
Just to be honest, social media is just a cesspool for stuff like this. But you see things posted.
Carl.
I can see the glow from here, Carl. Maybe that's the Captain Chaos flame starting to fire up, huh? Is Chaos Control gonna need to calm you down? Are you partying too hard for your birthday?
Oh my goodness.
But you see something posted, and you just get that gut feeling, that person is just...
Oh, Carl, the coffee, there's enough for one more cup of coffee. Well, one more pot of coffee, so I'm saving that. So, no, I'm not drinking coffee tonight. But, yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. Don't you dare say I'm used to it.
Okay, not saying it. Don't know what else I'm supposed to say, but...
At least I realized I did it. That's the key. I'm making progress,
It's
right?
okay. I needed another drink anyway.
There you go. Lost my train of thought.
That's okay, because I didn't.
Oh, good.
But you see something posted, and you just get a gut feeling, a sneaking suspicion that, this person is just... not... They're using what they're posting as an excuse to avoid an uncomfortable situation, because it's going to make them grow, because growing is uncomfortable.
It's painful and it hurts.
So, you just, you see that stuff, and it's been...
Carl, that's on my to-do list for Friday. Thursday's payday. Gotta wait till Friday.
Weighing on my mind, and really on my heart lately, Then I'll just say it like I see it and like I feel it. I think there's a bunch of fluff bunnies peddling bullshit.
That's because there's no consequence.
There's no substance to the stuff they're teaching, and beyond that, I'm gonna get off of that, because I'm not gonna. That's not what this show's about. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole tonight.
Fluff bunny rabbit hole.
Well, I had to throw that in somewhere. Actually, that was a complete accident, but I'll take credit for it.
Okay.
So.
You can have credit. This was fun. Do I want to be famous?
Oh.
Joel
Mental X, you
002.
are blocked.
Bye-bye.
Bye. They're miserable and misery loves company, so they try to take others with them. I can agree with that 100%.
That's so true, isn't it?
Even though sometimes growth, the process of growing spiritually is fucking miserable by itself while it's happening. But at least there's progress and a sense of accomplishment afterwards. instead of just sitting stagnant in a pond of misery.
You know, I like to think I have a widow's peak because I'm a witch. See? Look at that, people. I do. I have a widow's peak. That's why
All right, guys.
I try to part it on the side. I don't know if there's any merit to that or not. Lena, I love the fact that you don't sugarcoat stuff. Lena never does that. And I greatly appreciate that.
Yep. She's always real, 100%.
I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real.
Lena, I love it. You need to make a shirt and I will buy it from you. I'm fixing to be real with you.
Okay,
That's
guys.
all, folks.
So I hope tonight's show wasn't too much of a downer. I know I was kind of on a soapbox through parts of it, but really and truly, I want you to think about that. Your path. There's one thing that I will say is absolutely true. Well, what she's saying, Lena, is that you need to get shirts that say "I'm gonna be real."
I'm gonna be real with you. I love that.
I think you would. I think you would sell some of those too.
Yeah,
I know we would
Christy
buy a couple.
Would buy one for sure.
So,
I would buy one. I'll be real
I
with you. I'm gonna buy one.
I want you guys to remember. The one thing I will say about every spiritual path out there is that it, at the very least, it deserves your effort and it deserves your honesty. Honesty with yourself, honesty with those that you would call a higher power. Ancient Chinese secrets. So, what was the name of that soap? Don't put it in the chat. I don't want a copyright ding, but Carl's talking about an old TV commercial. Ancient Chinese secret. It was a laundry soap of some sort or something like that. I can't remember, but
oh my God. Well, we love you all, and again, happy Mother's Day to those mothers out there. Yeah, we'll be back next Monday with who's on next Monday?
Next Monday we don't have anyone lined up.
Okay.
But I'm working on that. I've got a few fishing lines out. I just need to get them tied up.
I'm picturing like the American Family Insurance commercial with the old
almost at it. Almost at it. So yes, but we will be back next Monday, and we have a we've got some. Lena. We've got some. Do you want to come on next Monday? We can talk about that, Lena.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yes. We need to make that happen. Like, seriously, make that happen.
Yes, we can definitely work that out. You guys, we are gonna we'll touch base with you after the show, Lena. We are gonna go ahead and jump off of here because we've been going for quite a long time.
That's what she said.
I mean, hour and a half, so not too bad.
Okay, Lena's going to be our guest next Monday.
Yeah, we will just set that up. Very cool. We're going to jump off of here. You guys have a great week.
Be safe. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
There was something else I was going to say. Have a great week. Keep an eye. Just
be aware.
Always do your best to just grow. Take any opportunity to grow, unless you need a chance to rest. But don't get comfortable there. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay spooky, and keep shaking hands with the shadows.
Bye. That was a fun show.